Thank you.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Master. Well, I guess that tells you what the gift is, right? Oh, let me get that out of the way so I don't step on it. Wow, that's such a sweet song. Who was it that made that song classic? Who sang that song? Lena Horne? Oh, Joe.
Williams did it, but also
Yeah. No, that's what I was saying. Joe Williams. And everybody's covered it, right? Yeah. Did she, Barbara Streisand
Shirley
too?
Horn.
Oh my
Shirley
goodness.
Horn. That's what.
Shirley Horn.
Yes.
Oh.
This is Reverend Sue Rubin's favorite song.
Did she make it?
She did.
Dr. Sue, are you
She
here?
was almost gonna make it.
Okay, well. Good morning, everybody. Nothing like a good stretch. All right, let's get into this. The gift is yours. All right, it's the gift season. It's all ready. Black Friday, Cyber Monday. The specials are out. It's happening. 3 days only, limited time only. While quantities last, get yours today. Lack of limitation, on sale right now at a store near you. Man, it's tough. Don't believe me? Just ask Johanna. We went to Bed Bath & Beyond yesterday. I got 2 ceramic skillets because buy one, get one free. Honey, I saw this skillet. I really want one of those. They finally got one. Look at that. Hey, there's buy one, get one free. Perfect. I'm only going to be cooking at one. I am not that good of a cook that I can cook 2 things because one of them's going to burn, you know? But at least I can make one dirty while I clean and cook the other one. Just sitting there waiting. Yeah, I got caught up in it. Any of you guys started your list yet? I mean, really, I don't know why I'm making today as like the big start or anything. Black Friday, the big start. 2 weeks before Halloween, actually a week after 4th of July. The stuff was out, you know? It was already out there. That's it. But really what comes to me is that the gift of all gifts we've already been given. As you saw in the affirmation, that's really what this is about. It's about to celebrate the gift of life. That's what we've been given us. That has given us this opportunity to experience all the joys that we experience in being one another, to experience all those storms that we have to weather that you talked about in that song, and letting our goods get better. That's really what this thing called life is about. And this desire for things, this holiday shopping, it really makes sense in the universal metaphysical way of being. If you think about, here's this entity, this presence that we call God, this consciousness that was existing. If you believe in all the metaphysical version of the Genesis story, or even the universal scientific story of the Big Bang, however you want to roll it out, there's this presence, this thing, this intelligence that had an idea of expressing itself. And that idea was so massive, the universe burst into expression. And creation began. And stuff started being made. Things. And so as that experience of the Big Bang, as that experience of infinite intelligence is within each and every one of us, we also desire to create. And the things we do are things. The things we create are things. We create stuff. We grow plants. You said you moved, Lorraine, you said you moved your warehouse here. What do you have in your warehouse? Health and beauty. She's got a warehouse full of health and beauty things. You know, you go over to Gregory's house, he's got a backyard full of plants and things. He's sitting right in front of a man who spends all of his time with plants and things. You know, here's Lee, he creates beautiful children. You know, we all have our way, right? Ethan, don't you love him? I love you. And have you ever noticed that Ethan knows all the words to all the songs? Watch his lips. He knows all the words of the peace song, and if it switches to the one family, he's on that. He's got it all down. He's like, awesome. I really love that. But this desire to have things is just part of the objective universe. It's a part of the way things happen, and we have that within us, and we're attracted to them. Woo, shiny things. You know me. I got that really bad, right? Now, Dr. Holmes says something really interesting about things. He says, oh, wait, not that yet, back up. Because that's one of those that I really want to save that. But it's that he talks about that things are not ours to keep. that if we want to keep them, we must give them away. That's one of his quotes he had in this article I was reading. If you want to keep things, give them away. And I was like, well, how does that work? And then it hit me, of course. Because in the giving, as Johanna said, in that listing of the gifts that we give, in the giving, and understand the motivation, if we're giving from that place of authenticity, there's this feeling that comes. Masa talked about it, loving all of us. You know, when you love somebody and you say, I love you, great idea. But a dear friend of mine, Carol McDonald, used to say, thank you for giving me the experience of love. Because when I love you, I'm feeling the love. So you give me the experience of love. So therefore, if we give things away, and in that joy, we get to keep that sensation within us. So giving stuff away is a great thing to do. It's absolutely wonderful. And it's not only that, but it's not ours to keep, it's for us to use. And that which brings us to the money too. Ta-da! What do we do if we lose our money? Forget it! Make some more! I love that idea. Dr. Holmes says there's always stuff in the universe, the substance of intelligence, wisdom, this infinite supply. It's like the Buddhists have it really down. I think it's the Hindus with the Shiva god, the destroyer. Is that, yeah, right? I looked at Johanna because she went to the city yoga and they studied all that kind of stuff. She's got all this god Lakshmi and all that stuff at the house, so I figured that she's my expert on that. But you know, they got this destroyer god that just blows stuff up so that the Brahma can make it all happen again, you know? And that's really what happens. The plant grows and it withers and the fruit gets all, and then it dries up and then the seeds fall and boom, there's more fruit. So there's always this process going on and on and on. So hey, if we lose our money, forget it. Make some more. If we lose our things, don't worry about it. There's more stuff to get. So as you're worried about the Christmas season, I'm thinking, yeah, the gifts, okay, but why worry about that? We have life itself. We already have what we need. And God, as an experience of us, as us being the experience of God expressing in the universe, we have this eternally expressing thing, this intelligence. It's always thinking that Patrick talked about. Thoughts are coming, and as these thoughts arise, there must be a reason for them. Let's work with those reasons, see what those are all about, and then we can use the law of the universe. See, the love is coming up as the ideas, the wisdom, the infinite intelligence speaking to us, and then the law is that operation that makes it happen. It makes it happen. That makes the more for us to get easy to receive. And see, that more, that calling for more, is actually the divine urge. It's the ultimate resplendent good emerging within us. It's always calling to us, saying, create something more, create something more. And in that moreness is this desire. You know, there's nothing that tells the seed to burst forth, but something within it. It just has to. Like the butterflies that Dr. Susan and the kids did recently. Those caterpillars, they just knew what to do, and they just had to become butterflies. You see, Dr. Holmes says in The Living the Science of Mind, everything in the universe is alive and awake, and it's aware with some kind of spontaneous combustion. Thanks, Dee. Don't worry about it. I just said it. Oh, we're frozen? It's frozen? Oh, there it is. No? Really? Oh, that's cool. That's last week's slide. Cool. Hit the next one. That's last week's slide too. Hit the next one. Oh, you weren't here last week? Oh, okay. So last week we talked about the fact that imagination is a great friend of possibility. Actually, that was like a couple weeks ago. And the next one. It sure is. How about that? So look, check it out. Does that even, I don't know if that works with today's talk, but what the Father does, we can do in our own life. What God is, we can become. That kind of works with life. It's got the word life in it. But no, see, what I was trying to talk about, the fact that everything in the universe is alive, awake, and aware with spontaneous self-combustion. I love that phrase, spontaneous self-combustion. Within the idea, within the seed, is the energy to make it burst into expression. And this thing that we have, this gift we have within us that has this calling to always do, also has within it the energy to make the doing happen. That's a pretty amazing thing when you think about it. So not only is urge part of the gift of life that we receive, it's a comfort to know that as each of us is God expressing, that we're always achieving. We can just shut that off. That we're always achieving. You see, Spirit is this internal witness within us. It's this internal witness that's always watching to see if its truth is going to be realized. Now, the beautiful thing about life is that we've been given, I had a wonderful talk with Kabir's brother, Jannard, at Thanksgiving. We had a Thanksgiving meal with his older brothers. And Jannard's not a fundamental Christian, but a more traditional Christian. And so we had a beautiful conversation about science of mind, and it really helped me to dive deeper. I love when I get into a good conversation about spirit, because it helps me to dive deeper into my own teaching, and I think it helped him to dive deeper into his own. And one of the things we were talking about is this relationship we have to God. And in science of mind, I think it is so beautiful, the relationship that we get to have with the eternal presence. To understand and to move away from any sense of separation and completely understand that God is existing through us, as us, with us, and we in turn are doing the same. And so as we can come to understand that God is not out there afar, but is as close as our breath, is the very heartbeat of our bodies, is the experience of our experience. As we come to surrender to that truth and align with that, something magnificent starts to take place within us. Something beautiful happens. And so our job is to stand in wonder, before the majesty and the might, the beauty and the power of that divine presence which seeks expression through your individual life. It's like the most awesome experience of awe to be one with the Father. To do as Jesus said, I and the Father are one. To come to the Spirit through that Christ consciousness that says, here I am, Lord. Use me. Like that song we sing. Use me. And allow me to use you together as one. To stand in the wonder of that beauty. To stand in the power of that might. To stand in the majesty of all of that. That's our responsibility. Because see, there's always more to behold, and life is the vehicle that allows us to behold that. I've got a fun vehicle. It's Ollie. I call him Ollie. He's a four-wheel drive Westphalia Volkswagen. He's the Yes I Can Volkswagen. Any of you have ever driven a Volkswagen camper, you know that it's the ultimate yes I can, yes I can, yes I can. It will get there when it's ready. But one of the things it does, it's been amazing. I've driven this thing for almost 30 years, all over the country, and it's four-wheel drive. And there are times that I put it in the four-wheel low, where the locking differential locks both wheels together, and it just crawls like a tiger, and it will go. You know those Jeeps, the ones that have the thing that comes up where the air is coming into the engine from up here because it's going underwater? This Volkswagen's got like 21 inches of clearance. It drives like that, and I've gone up and over hills to get up to the sides of mountains where the thing is like leaning like that. I'm thinking, oh my God. But they said the hot springs are at the top. Go, keep going. Yes, I can, yes, I can, yes, I can, yes, I can. And I come up over the ridge, and there's all these Jeeps and stuff that are at the top, and you should see them. They look over, they're like, oh, how did you get up here? Ollie can go anywhere, you know? One year I was trying to get to the north side of the Grand Canyon, so I wanted to just get to the Grand Canyon. I'd never seen a Grand Canyon. Still have not seen the Grand Canyon up close, only from like 30,000 feet. So I finally get there, and I'm about to drive in, and the gate is closed because it's the winter, and they don't let you on the north side in the winter. And I was so disappointed. And there was the park ranger. And I'm going, dude, I got this ultimate vehicle that loves to express. Watch this. And they had these snow berms in the parking lot from putting the clean in the parking lot. And they said, I put it in the four-wheel low, and I'm driving up over the snow berms and stuff. And he's like, I get out, he says, see, what do you think of that? That's absolutely amazing. So I can go in, right? No. That's what I'm talking about free will and separation. See? The universe would have said yes if he had been just one with God like me. But we have that within us. We have the Ollie spirit. We have the yes I can spirit within us, and we can climb over snow berms and mountains and get to the top of our experience, and people go, oh, how did you do that? Because I have the divine urge, and I listened, and I responded to that urge, and I moved with it, and I created this. And they go, that's a great thing. Can I have one? He goes, sure, I'll sell it to you. And now you're into law circulation. This is that season when gifts and all kinds of things start to pressure us. Easy to go like, oh my God, you know? It can be stressful. In certain communities, they call this the Bermuda Triangle. Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's, where the pressure of those 3 holidays will cause you to want to drink or do drugs or maybe just lay in the bed with a pillow over your head. But see, our endeavor in the process of using our gift of life is not so much, here, this would have been a quote for you. Right there, see it in purple? There you go, okay. Your endeavor is not so much to find God as it is to realize the presence and to understand that this presence is always with you. In the morning when you wake up, try it as a practice. Good morning, God. When you look in the mirror, good morning, God. When you have something that happens, thank you, God. And know that you're experiencing it and you're building the idea of that divine presence working through you. Always showing up. Because you have a gift, and if you haven't quite expressed it fully yet, the time will come. I'm thinking about a guy named, 3 kids in Cremona, Italy. Salvatore, Julio, and Antonio. Salvatore had this beautiful tenor voice. This kid could sing. Oh, he was magnificent. And his friend, Julio, was a wonderful violinist. And their friend Antonio, he could whittle. He had a super nice whittling knife and a really scratchy voice, and he could sing very well, but he loved music. And so he loved hanging out with Antonio and Julio, and they would go everywhere together. They were like inseparable, the little rascals. They would go everywhere together through the town and to the piazza to play their music. And Antonio would always sit there whittling with them and listening and loving the music and wishing he could sing. He tried to sing in the church choir, and the rector says, oh, I really love your spirit, but could you stand in the back row and maybe sing solo? You know that one, right? Solo, nobody can hear you? No, you want to sing solo? How about tenor then? 10 or 12 miles from here? But he hung in there. They had a big festival one year, and everybody was displaying their arts and crafts. And Julio and Antonio set themselves up, and they put a little cup out. Julio and Salvador set themselves up, and they put a little cup out, and they put Antonio in charge of the cup, right? And they played, and people would drop coins in. And as they were singing, this man came through the crowd, and he dropped what looked like a gold coin into the cup. And Antonio reached in and he grabbed the he says, oh, it is gold. He showed it to Salvador and Julio. He said, oh, it is gold. Oh, and I know who that guy was. That was Mr. Amate, Senor Amate. He goes, Senor Amate? Who's that? Julio goes, you don't know who that is? Salvador goes, I can't believe he doesn't know who that is. I don't know who that is. He's the violin maker. Really? Wow. Ding! Urge, idea came to mind to Antonio. I'm a good whittler. I wonder if I could learn to make violins. He takes all his little whittling toys and all the things he's made, and he puts them in a knapsack, and he goes and he knocks on Amate's door, and the servant wouldn't let him in. He says, but I must see him. And Amate says, who is that with the screeching voice? And he says, let him in. And he comes in, and he lays all his stuff out, and he says, I whittle, and I would love to learn to make violins. And he says, oh, okay. He's like 12 years old. And he says, okay, come back tomorrow, we'll see. And that day he came back and he sat and he watched the master at work. Oh, that's nice. Come back tomorrow, we'll see. Can I make a violin now? Come back tomorrow, we'll see. For 10 years, come back tomorrow, we'll see. At age 22, finally Amate says to Antonio, I think today I have a gift for you. He takes him into the back office, works area, and there's another workbench. This is your workbench. My workbench? Yes, where you can now make violins. And so there began the career of Antonio Stradivari. 1,100 violins later, the Stradivarius is still the most prized violin in the world. He followed his urge. There's this ultimate resplendent good in each and every one of us. Our J.K. Rowling story is waiting for us. If it hasn't unfolded yet, don't worry about it. It's coming. See, Dr. Holmes says in The Living Science of Mind, there is always this thing in us that is transcendent and triumphant. Transcendent and triumphant. Out of the night that covers me, black as a pit from pole to pole, I thank whatever gods may be for my unconquerable soul. In the fail clutch of circumstance, I have not winced nor cried aloud. Under the bludgeons of chance, my head is bloody but unbowed. Beyond this place of wrath and tears looms but the horrors of the shade. And yet the minutes of the years find me unafraid. It matters not how straight the gate, how charged with punishment the scroll. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. Invictus. William Ernst Henley. That is in every single one of us. We are the captains of our souls. See, part of life's gifts is not just the urge, but it's the thinking. It's the ideas. It's the lights that are going on that are giving us thoughts and things to do. The light. And how important is the light this time of year? Do you know what today is in other churches? And it is in our church now because I'm announcing it. It's Advent. You know what Advent is? Come on, all you guys. Some of you guys went to those kind of churches. The 4 Sundays before Christmas, we're celebrating the season of light. The sun is marching back in the northern hemisphere, back to light. We're going to get more and more light every day after the 21st, after the solstice. More and more light every single day. That's why Christmas is now. You know, in the scholarly looks, they said Jesus was actually born closer to Easter, not during Christmas. But in the pagan religion, there was this season, the festival of lights, and he was the God of light. And so they moved his birth to Christmas time to celebrate life. This stuff is all made up, but it makes sense. Dr. Holmes gives some real practical advice, kind of like Johanna was given. He talks about in gift giving, motive counts. Motive counts. There's nothing holier, no holierness than giving a large gift to a righteous organization or giving a couple of coins to a beggar. It's what's in your heart when you give the gift. It's what's in your heart when you give your gift to the world. If you give it from your heart, you too will make Stradivarius. In Science of Mind, Living Science of Mind, he says, we have accepted the gift of life and are now playing with it on the shores of time, where the waters of the infinite wash our feet. I love that one. Let me do it again. We have accepted the gift of life and are now playing with it, joyful, playing with it on the shores of time, where the waters of the infinite wash our feet. Let me break it down on a metaphysical plane, that quote, because it's so powerful. It's packed with so many messages, that quote. Time is eternal. It's moving. It's everlasting, right? And the water represents that potentiality of things coming into form. Whatever you take water and put it in, it assumes that form. It takes that shape, right? So the waters, this idea of the shores of time, washing these waters of the infinite. We understand the infinite. That's where all possibilities exist. And to wash is to purify, is to take us away from those false thoughts and those old habits and those bad ideas that no longer work for us, and to cleanse ourselves into the purity of our growth and our newness and our innovation, our great ideas, and then to lay them at our feet, to wash our feet. The feet is where we connect with the earth itself. It's where we meet the manifest. And so what that quote is telling us is that time is eternally bringing our potentiality into form from a pure consciousness to make our dreams come true. And that, my friends, that is the gift. That is the best gift, the gift of life itself. and so it is. All righty. So let's do this again with a little bit of understanding behind it. Are we ready? The biggest, bestest, and longest lasting gift has already been given. Life! I honor it and celebrate it every day in every way. Prayer time? Okay. Normally I don't do that, but I'm a little dry today. Thank you. Oh, thank you, whoever left this here. This is the most amazing chime. Check this out. It has like an echo. Now, is the next one going to be higher or lower? Wow.
So adorable.
It's our time for prayer. One of the things I love about our form of prayer is the way it works, the 5 steps of treatment. First, there's the understanding that there is this divine presence we call God. And then there's next is that you and I, we are one with this divine presence. And in that connection, in that unification, there's power. And that's why when we speak our word from that place, we're in alignment with universal law. So what we speak becomes realized. That's why they call that third step realization. And then we go into thanksgiving. Not thank you, God, but thank you for the process. Thank you for the knowledge. Thank you for the knowing that as we speak from this truth, what we speak becomes real in our lives. And how does it become real? Because we trust with faith. So we just let it go into the universal presence that knows what to do with it. That's the 5 steps. So join me in the realization step right now by speaking out into the room what you want to see realized in this prayer that's about to take place. Let's do it together. So feeling that divine presence that flows forth as love, that is activated by law. That presence that we are all a part of, for we are God being expressed by means of each and every one of us, and we give the opportunity for God to be more fully expressed because of who we are, how we're here, and what it is that we do. And in this moment, we trust, we believe, we accept, we affirm that there is this presence, there is this law, there is this intelligence that knows how to respond when we are in alignment with it. So accepting that we are all in alignment with the universal presence, right now I speak this word on behalf of all of us now, that what has been spoken into the room has already been accepted into that universal law. It is now in its process of being made manifest in time and space, this place in which we live. We are coming with it from a pure heart. We have been cleansed of those things that no longer serve us and accept everything that does in this moment, everything that appears to be and shows up as right action and divine guidance and perfect employment, living in the right situation, knowing that abundance and prosperity are ours, that we do not live in lack and limitation. There is no limited time, certain time, special time. It's being given now, and each now moment that exists beyond this moment. For givingness is the eternality of the universe. It is the ever-flowing spirit. And so as we stand in the truth of that, nothing can get us down. Nothing can lead us to shame, embarrassment, or sadness, or guilt. We accept what does not work as an experience that is moving us to the higher experience of life right now. We shake off the past and stand in wonder and joy at the unfoldment of the now, knowing that it is always for our good. If you accept that with me and believe it to be true, release this prayer into the law with a strong affirmation of those wonderful 4 words. And so it is.
Must